someone to blame. You need to know why Anthony A.J. Joshua was making those huge mistakes in his fight against Daniel Dubois. You need someone to blame. And I'm going to tell you who to blame. Ben Davison, that's right. Blame him completely, 100% for that horrible performance from Anthony A.J. Joshua. Because Anthony A.J. Joshua, he's malleable. He can be shapen by any trainer or anyone who has an influence over his career. And I got the receipts to prove it. I want you guys to look at Anthony A.J. Joshua when he was being trained by Derrick James. I want you guys to look at his fight against Franklin and look at Anthony A.J. Joshua's left hand when he's on defense, and look at his head movement and his level changes.
Left hook from
Joshua. You see that? Now that's with Derrick James. Now I want you guys to look at Anthony A.J. Joshua's guard, his left hand, and how he evades punches versus Dubois. And that's Ben Davison. I want you to look at something else, even closer. I want you to look at the responsibility of Anthony A.J. Joshua when he's throwing his right against Franklin. Look at where his left is and where it goes when Franklin tries to counter Anthony A.J. Joshua with a right of his own. That's Derrick James. Now look at Anthony A.J. Joshua, his final moments against Daniel Dubois, where his left was when he was throwing the right and where it remained when Daniel Dubois was throwing his counter. And that's the black Tortugas. Actually, it's a latte. Ben Davison, who used to train Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, a totally different heavyweight, who can make those mistakes, or maybe not really mistakes, when you take into account the fighter, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Better reflexes, better feet, elasticity in his muscles, the way he can stretch and bend, pause. Anthony A.J. Joshua, not the same type of fighter. With Anthony A.J. Joshua, Derrick James understood that Anthony Joshua has to be more responsible, not known for having the best chin in the world, and his reflexes aren't the best. So, while he throws his right, his left can't leave home too much. It drops a bit. Hell, that's just muscle memory. But it can't leave home too much. So when the counter happens, he can recover and catch the punch. And you can tell that Derrick James was really making this a point with Anthony A.J. Joshua during training camp, because you can see Anthony Joshua constantly readjusting his guard and keeping his hand by his forehead, using his forehead as a guide. Like I said, Anthony A.J. Joshua is malleable. He would listen to the trainer and do exactly what the trainer has shaped him to be. If you look at this fight with Otto Wallin, when Ben Davison was training Anthony A.J. Joshua, look at the difference. It's almost night and day. Anthony A.J. Joshua, left hand low, and dropping it consistently while throwing his right against Otto Wallin.
And staying away from...
That influence from Ben Davison led to that despicable performance we had from Anthony A.J. Joshua last night against Daniel Dubois.
Shout out to Showbizz the Dope. All right, man, look. Beautiful breakdown by Showbizz the Adult. And I never really looked at it like that, and I didn't. And forgive me for not seeing that, okay? See, everybody gave Derrick James a hard time because Derrick James went from all the way up, trainer of the year, to all the way out, not trainer of the year. But now looking at what we just seen or witnessed by Showbizz the Adult and the differences between how AJ fought with Ben Davison and AJ fought with Derrick James. You know, it's a no-brainer. You know, it's Derrick James was teaching AJ how to fight on the inside. Most importantly, how to protect on the inside and the outside. So what he did, he broke AJ down, got AJ to fight how he wanted AJ to fight, how he felt AJ should fight. And see, everyone gives Derrick James a bad time because of the Errol Spence loss. And then, of course, in the Helenius fight where AJ looked all battered up, right? But understand something, people. Let me counter something. Let me make you aware of something. Let me remind you that Robert Helenius was juiced up. So he was fighting a big 6'9" juiced up fighter, okay? Before he caught him, and he was out of here. The power of AJ. Shout out to him. But understand, you know, he was a bigger guy. He was a replacement on top of that. So, you know, everybody just pretty much, hey, they looked at Errol Spence. Then they looked at the AJ's face after Helenius fight. And they were like, you know what? I don't like Derrick James. And that's what happened. And then he started working with Ben Davison on the fly. And everything just looked like it fit. Until now. Now I bet you Derrick James is sitting back, looking, responding, thinking to himself, you know what? Ben Davison made a mistake. All of those fights, even in the Ngannou fight, the Weiland fight, this dude, the Dubois fight, he did not use his guard. It's like he forgot. It's like he wiped away everything that Derrick James was teaching him. And this is disappointing to me because I like to think that Anthony Joshua is somewhat of a sponge when it comes to certain things and learning certain things. You know what I mean? He's easily influenced. Okay, you can get AJ to sway either way he needs to sway according to different trainers. The sad thing is he can't take a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. He can't do that. That's not him. He pours his whole cup out. So then whoever can pour whatever they need to pour into him, and that will be his overall filling, right? Filler. You know, it's crazy looking back at it, you know, because, you know, roll the dice. Okay, I keep hearing that. Him saying roll the dice is probably what got AJ knocked out. Now, to be fair, Showbizz the Adult said, if you're looking for an excuse, there is one. There's a logical one. So he just pretty much gave you a logical reason why Anthony Joshua lost because of different trainers. And it is Ben Davison. Roll the dice. What does that mean anyway? Go for it? That's like saying shoot for your hopes and dreams. Go! Ding, ding. Get out there. You know, whereas I do think Derrick James would at least be like, hey, he would be more technical because I've seen him in there, Coach AJ, in between those two fights that he had with Franklin and with Helenius. And you've seen he was showing him physically, look, you got to get in there and you'll get to the body, you know, but everything was defense. It was, you always seen Derrick James pantomime what he wanted AJ to do, and he always had his hands up. AJ was doing that well. And I think it's sad because I don't think he learned and really fully gelled with Derrick James like he should have. He probably would have been a better fighter overall had he stayed with him. And I'm convinced now, sure in hindsight, if he was with Derrick James, that fight wouldn't have went the way it went. You guys tell me what you think of this counterpunch on Showbizz the Adult. And you guys been counterpunch. Peace.